Hey guys, this is Emery with Gripedo. Today I'm going to talk about a few things for sand training. Basically, we use a 5-gallon bucket, and I like to fill it up with sand halfway, even more. It's up to how you want to do it and depends on the resistance you want. This is more resistance than pretty much any athlete. I work with very strong athletes, and it's no one was able to get to the bottom and make this an easy exercise. So there's several ways to do this, and I get a lot of different questions on what the best way is. There is not really a best way, but I'll just show a few exercises. The main thing exercise is sand wrenching. I pretty much bend my knee here and put my palm right on the Gripedo, right here, gripping the 4-inch handle, and I grip the bucket with my left hand. And I start working in one direction, and you can keep going, or you can go back and forth. And I put my weight on the Gripedo to go deeper to a resistance that I want to get. If it gets too hard, you can just pull it back. And if you want to work at a certain resistance, once you get to that resistance, you just pretty much keep it there, and you just work back and forth. And the resistance goes up really, really quick, especially if you use sand. We definitely recommend using sand unless you have an injury. So this is the main exercise. Different things you can do is you can use 3-finger grips. So basically I'll partner my thumb with 2 of my other fingers. I can grip like this, you can grip like this, you can grip like this. This makes it more challenging. If you want, you can just grip your fingertips, or you can put an object right over the Gripedo, so it's just forcing you to grip with your fingertips. And that makes it super, super challenging, but it's great to do that because especially rock climbers, when you work with grips like this especially, you get to hit different muscles in the forearm that you don't really get to train when you do this type of movements. So this is the main exercise. Another way to do this is, so basically in this one, my arm is pretty much straight in line with the Gripedo. Another way to do this is squatting kind of like this and tackling it. So if the Gripedo bar is, if you draw a line from extending from this, it will be going up. My arm is pretty much almost like 45 degrees to it. And why I like this is, well, before I get to that, one thing you can do is ulnar and radial deviation. So it's basically this motion here. And I find this to be very helpful, especially if you're holding a bat, for grappling, for guillotines. I like it a lot. There's a lot of importance of doing this exercise. A lot of ways it can be trained is with hammers, which I really like, and that's a great way to train. But what you can do with the Gripedo is, once you get to a resistance that you really like, you can go back and forth like that. My arm is parallel to the ground, and you can sit down. As long as your forearm is parallel to the ground, you're okay. One thing to keep in mind, I'm keeping my elbow right here. If I want to work my shoulder external rotators, what I'll do is my elbow will go with it, or I'll go the other way. So if I'm turning here, I'll turn like this, or if I'm going here, I'll turn like that. And that works more of the arm, if that makes sense. And you definitely hit the shoulder internal and external rotations. So it depends on what you want to work. I like to do them both. I like to just work here and then put my elbow, my arm into it, letting my elbow guide. I guess a good thing to watch if you just want to work your forearm, basically just keep your elbow here. And that applies to the sand wrenching as well. So if I'm here, if I don't want to use my shoulder internal external rotators, I pretty much will keep my elbow right here, and I'll work like that. If I want to involve my shoulder internal external rotators, I will let my elbow circle with it. So you see that? That's a really important tip. Some folks just want to focus on forearm rehab. one thing a lot of physical therapists do is hammer, supination, pronation. It's kind of like that. Just keep your elbow right above it and just work each direction. And I like to do them both. When you get your shoulder involved, you'll be able to put a lot more strength into it. Another exercise, the variation I want to talk about is having my forearm in this angle. So it's not parallel, it's not here, it's here. And this kind of is a little bit of both worlds. So you're working your wrist, ulnar radial deviation, but you're also have your hand here. So it's just a little bit different of a grip. And I really like this one. And you can generate a good amount of strength. And it just works your arms and your muscles in a different way. And I don't like these are the three main ways to do it, but feel free to just constantly change it and target different muscles. So basically this is the main way to work with the 4-inch handle. There's a lot of other ways to do it with the other Gripedo, and stay tuned for future videos, and we'll put them up shortly. Thank you.